it on. All right, I'm ready to show you how to do one of my favorite meals that I learned about several years ago from a sister-in-law of mine that actually passed away somewhere around 4 or 5 years ago. I have two sisters-in-laws named Sue, but this is the one that's done gone on, and I'm not sure if I gave the name biscuit balls to this or she did, so if some of her children are watching this, maybe they can let us know. I'm going to tell you a meal that we absolutely love, and I'm going to show you what I do. I went ahead and cooked a few, but I'm going to show you what I do. I'm going to show you what I cook with the meal, even though I've already cooked it. For example, we do chicken strips. You might want to show this. We do chicken strips, and I love to do biscuit balls. That's what I call it. And like I said, I'm not sure if I'm coined that or my sister-in-law did. But we call it biscuit balls that we make with it. And I always like to do a potato salad with it. And I've already got my potato salad made. I'll let you see right here, but we'll do a video another day on my potato salad. But I've got a potato salad, huge, with actually too big to go with it. And a lot of times I like to cook some filled peas. Usually it's frozen, the frozen bag of filled peas to give us some vegetables there. But if you have, let me see what, if you have fresh peas or beans or something out of the garden, then that's lovely. But, okay, so I'm going to start by showing you, I left a couple of these thighs to cut up to show you what I do. I do use thighs, but let me tell you this. I love thighs. It's fried chicken, and I love the thighs. It's my favorite part. However, a lot of people prefer white meat, my husband being one of them. So I'm going to put some more flour here. I'll be giving you some tidbits along the way. And by the way, in case you somehow got on here and did not know that my name was Norma Jean, it is Norma Jean. And I do Normie's tidbits because my mother used to call me Normie. And I have a brother and a brother-in-law and sister-in-law, and plus Ronnie always calls me Normie. So I call it Normie's tidbits, some little hints along the way. But I'm going to go ahead and put these in, and then I'm going to show you how I cut the others up. And I'm going to show you how to do the biscuit balls. I use Martha White's self-rising flour. You can use your choice, of course. I don't get paid to advertise for anybody, so I'm just letting you know. A lot of times when you're fixing things, people want to know what brand do you use or what kind, or, you know, I saw someone, I believe, do some biscuits the other day and said that they used, I think it was biscuits, that they did, you know, used plain flour. I always use self-rising. That's what my mother used, so that's the only time I would use plain if it's a recipe that calls, you know, a cake or something calls for it. Okay, I've got to turn my eye. You want to make sure your grease is hot, but not so hot it's going to brown it so quick that it burns it and it doesn't get done on the inside. But you do want it hot when you put it in. If it's not hot when you put it in, it's not going to do as well. So make sure it's hot enough, but not too hot. And if you see it's cooking too fast and getting brown too quick, but you don't feel like it's had time to cook in the middle and the actual chicken, just cut it down a little bit. Now I like to sprinkle a little salt on mine after I put it over here. By the way, I use buttermilk, and I always like to use whole buttermilk personally, if you want to use fat-free or something else. But there's my buttermilk. I mean, I just use whatever brand I get my hands on. But I put buttermilk in a bowl, and then I cut my chicken up and wash it. And then I put it in the buttermilk to soak. Sometimes I may soak it 15 or 20 minutes. If I'm needing to use it right then, it don't soak, but, you know, 5 minutes, whatever the case. But it is good if you can get in there ahead of time. And I'm putting flour on this, and hoping I got this a little bit, okay? And I am real messy, and if you're a real neat person, you won't have a mess to clean up like I will when I get through, because I'm kind of a messy cooker. I really need to wear an apron, and I actually meant to put my hair up, and I forgot that. And I may get a chance to do it, and I may not, because none of us like hair in our food, so I probably think to pull my hair back. But I'm just putting it in this flour, and flipping it over, as you can see, and laying it over here, and letting it cook. And it does not take this long at all. But instead of cooking biscuits or cornbread or anything else to go with this from a biscuit standpoint, I'm going to show you what I do as soon as I get a chance. And if you notice, I have some bigger pieces and I have smaller. Although if I can, while that's cooking, I'm going to cut this up and show you. But I got sidetracked. What I wanted to tell you about this thighs, that's my leftover meat. I do waste it quite a bit. When I'm cutting it off the bone like this, you can get it already boneless. It's going to cost you more anyway if you do that. So this way I do have some waste, but on the other hand, let me cut this down a little bit. On the other hand, you could wash that good and use it. You could use it. Of course, when this starts browning, you got to turn it. And like I said, because it's browning pretty quick, I'm cutting it down a little bit so it can be sure and cook in the middle. But it starts looking really good. But what I especially didn't want to fail to tell you is my husband does not eat fried, he loves fried chicken, but he likes white meat. He likes breast and wings. If he's going to eat dark meat, it's going to be, and I have a smaller knife here somewhere, but it's going to be the leg, not the thigh. He does not want a fried thigh. However, I make these chicken strips out of thighs, and he loves this meal. He loves the thighs. So first thing I'm going to do is pull the skin off. And I personally don't worry if I get every little iota, but if you're the type that does, you can just dig at it all day as long as you need to get it off. But I get the main part of the skin off. And of course, the first thing you would do, and I had already started the video before you could see this, but of course wash your hands, and that's a no-brainer. But and here I just start cutting it off, and I do different sizes, but I call it chicken strips instead of fingers because it's not exactly necessarily a finger, but I think that's what I'd always called it. I may have called it chicken fingers before, but anyway, sometimes I like the smaller pieces. See, this is not the knife I had. I had a shorter one that was sharper. You can use a bigger knife, and you can probably do this a better way than I'm doing it, especially considering this knife is not very sharp. And of course, you will be running back and forth if you're trying to cook and do other things like I'm doing. We'll see if I can find me a sharper knife. Not sure if this one will be sharper. But I cut as much and as close to the bone as I can and get as much of the chicken off as I can. And like I said, you could take what's left, you could boil it in a pot and put it in a casserole or a pot pie, or you name it. You could definitely use this and not waste the leftovers like I do. And you could definitely use your breast if you prefer breast, but like I said, I encourage you to try it one time, even if you like breast, to try it one time with these thighs, because as I said, my husband Ronnie does not like to eat a fried chicken thigh, but he absolutely loves this meal. Several years ago, I had made this meal, and I mean like many years ago, and as a matter of fact, I don't know when the last time I've made it now. It's been quite a while. But I had at least one of my sister-in-laws, if not two. I know Ronnie's sister Betty was there, and I almost think possibly that Lynette might have been too. I'm not sure. They're both gone on now, but I know Betty and maybe the other, they was watching the cholesterol, and so they was like, this is what I was fixing that night. I didn't realize, that might not be a good thing. However, they said they would eat little. They ate, and the biscuit balls, they said, "Ooh, this is not good for me," but they loved those biscuit balls, had never eaten any, and they absolutely loved it. And we love to eat the biscuit balls with the peas that we cook. We also love to eat it with the chicken if we want to. And another thing, I don't eat syrup a lot, but these biscuit balls are absolutely, I'm gonna say divine, with the, let me find my rag, with the syrup. The chicken balls are so good to just salt the syrup. Now, I personally love Cairo myself, Cairo syrup, or I know technically that's the name brand, but I love the white syrup. I actually cut this down a little bit too much, so if you see what it looks like, I mean, I cannot wait to eat this. I've just got to have a piece. But I'll lay me a piece right there to sneak me out one ahead of time. And I got to get this up because me over there doing that, I actually cut this down a little bit too much because you want it crisp. And but if you're not trying to do what I was doing and doing a video at the same time, you could probably maneuver this a little better. But I take I just take a colander and I wash the chicken. After I cut it up, I wash it before I cut it up. Skin. But I'm putting the skin in here. I wash the chicken before I cut it up, and then I wash it again afterwards. And when I get it good and clean, I put it over here in my buttermilk. And I'm going to use my leftover buttermilk and grease to make the biscuit balls. So I can't wait to show you those. And I hope they turn out okay. Seems like when I do a video, you know, and you're live, can't edit it live, but I want you to see exactly how it is, but it may or may not turn out just like I want it today because, again, it has been a while since I have done this meal. But it is one of my favorites. And, okay. Oh, by the way, for those of you that have watched me show you how to make the homemade biscuits well, a couple weeks, 2 or 3 weeks ago now. And then one day I showed you how to make some homemade tomato gravy. I've got some other things coming up I'll be sharing. But I will be doing the live drawing next Thursday, a week from today on June the 15th. For those of you that, if you did all 3 things, if you liked, comment, and shared my videos, I've got a winner that's going to be off of the one making biscuits and the one making gravy. So, if you've only done one of them, go back and do the other. Also, for future reference, when you share and do all 3, please comment in the comments that you did. And the reason being, most of the time I can see who shared, and if it don't show up, I can even go to the page and see that they shared. The problem is, there's a few people that have their settings, I guess maybe on private or something, and when you go to the page, I mean, it'll show most people who shared, and some of them, a few of it don't. And then when it don't show that you shared, I'm not able to, I'm going to put my hair up, even though it's a little bit late in the game. So I'm going to step back and do that, and then I'll wash my hands and go again. But if you, in other words, if I don't know that you shared, I'm not able to put your name in. So I love your other comments too, though. I don't mean you have to only comment that you did all 3, but you can definitely comment that you did all 3 in the comments so that I know for sure too that you did all 3. I'll of course check it, but if that way, if it didn't show up on your thing, I'll still know that you did it. Okay. I'm getting close to ready to show you how to do the biscuit balls, but I do have a little bit more of this to do. Let me at least fry one more thing of the chicken balls. Chicken strips. And then, to keep you from having to wait, I might can just save the other and fry them fresh tonight. Since Ronnie's not home right now anyway to enjoy, I might wait and fry some fresh ones tonight. We do eat them left over, and they are good even if they're cold, but they are better, you know, warm. You can put pepper also, and I have done that, but the same way with the biscuit balls, but a lot of times I just do the salt. I make sure my flour is sifted, and I just put it on a plate. You could put it in a bowl, whatever. And when I start running out, I have my bowl nearby so I can just add some flour to this, because not only that, I'm going to need to add some flour when I start to do my biscuit balls. But don't start out with lumps in your flour. You may get lumps as you go along, but you don't want to start out with leftover lumps. We use flour for biscuits a lot, and for gravy, and for different things. So I keep me a bowl with a lid on it, with flour in it, and when I get through, I'll sift it and it'll be ready for the next time. Now, if you don't use it very often, that might not work for you. I'm gonna try to get the little chunks of chicken out of the flour, and put it right there. And I do have to kind of wash my hands a lot, because when I'm doing you probably have a better way of doing it, and you could probably use the fork and stir it and not get them all in it, but my hands tend to get the dough all over. And so we're going to get this going here, and then we'll share this biscuit balls with you. We're getting toward the end of the week. Hope everybody's having a good time, but don't forget, on those 2 videos, the biscuits and the gravy, I will be doing a live drawing next Thursday, June the 15th. I hope to do it in the morning time of the day, probably around 9 o'clock. Not positive, but I'll try to. And I may come back and give something on this video. I'm not sure yet, but if you want to like, comment, and share, if I do decide to, I will definitely go back and see who liked and shared and commented on this one, and I'll let you know later. I've got another video I'm excited about sharing with you in a couple of weeks that I think will be a lot of fun and very helpful, hopefully, for those of you that are wanting to try. Actually, I don't know if Miss Shirley's on here today or not, because she said sometimes she don't see my videos, so she called me the other day and wanted me to let her know, and I forgot to let her know, because she said that she, and so I can hurry up with biscuit balls, I'm going to put this in a different dish, and let's see, I'll just use a small mold, and I can even do it after I get off the phone, so that you can go ahead and I won't hold you up trying to show you how to do the biscuit balls. Now, I did a large pack of thighs, and of course, if you have a smaller family and are cooking for a small amount of people, you can just do 2 or 3 thighs and have the others put up, put them in the freezer. You could cook the thighs even in, you could buy a big pack, and every how many plates to your family, it's 3 or 4 at a meal. You could put that many in a Ziploc bag, put them in the freezer. When you get ready to do chicken fingers, just pull it out of the freezer. Okay, so this I would normally cook before I do my chicken. All right, you see I had this much milk left over because I just try to cover my chicken in buttermilk. But I'm going to add some buttermilk, and I'm going to add some flour, and I'm going to show you how we do the biscuit balls. Not yet or not, but I'm going to when I get through this chicken. But what I was going to say about Miss Shirley, she had watched the one on the gravy. I think she actually watched both, but she had told me she had picked her up some tomatoes and was going to try my gravy recipe. And she's like me. We've been around a little while. We're a little bit past 20 at least, and so I asked her, I said, have you not ever made tomato gravy before? And she said, yeah, but I think I'm going to try it like you making it. I said, okay, well, let me know how it turns out. So she called me back the other day and told me she had just got through making it that morning. Said they loved it, all her family. They ate it all up. There was none left. But she also added something else, or said something else that kind of surprised me. She said that they put their tomato gravy, that she used my recipe, if you want to call it a recipe. I mean, it's not an exact amount measured out recipe, but they, just meant that she used my recipe and made the gravy, but she said they put it on top of some rice. I thought I did it wrong. But she said they had put it on rice and loved it. Well, I hadn't thought of that. We used to eat tomatoes over rice. How many of you have ever done that? So, I mean, I'm sure it was good, but I love it with biscuits, so I haven't tried it over the rice. Now, here's how my chicken strips are looking, and I probably need to put another, since I've done taking up the menu, I'm going to get another paper towel and lay up here, just to kind of drain a little more of the grease. Now, I'm not saying this meal is a real healthy meal. It's one I think you'll love. I'm kind of like one of my daughters said. She said grease and salt were two of her favorite food groups, and I'm about that way. Now, that's not good for you, but that's about the way I am. So, point is, I love fried food. And, you know, I think eating in reason and not just eating fried foods all the time, I don't think there's anything wrong with it. So, once in a while, I think you need to have a meal. Now, all right, you see my grease has little, I'll show you in just a minute. You see my grease has little bits of chicken in it, you know, just little bits. You can take that out or not, but I don't worry with it. But what I do is I take my leftover, I try to not have any lumps, but I put my flour in here. I try not to get chicken hunks in it, but, and then not only do I take a spoon and all, but I get me some more flour because I don't usually have enough, and it depends how many you want to make. Since there's only 2 at home right now today, I'm not going to make a bunch of them. See that what a mess? I just poured, slung the flour everywhere. So like I said, I'm kind of a messy cooker. I have cleanup when I get through. Some people clean as they go and you won't even hardly know they've been in the kitchen. Maybe you're one of those kind, but for me, just ain't that way. And I did say ain't, you know, I do live in South Alabama, I guess you could say. Southern end, about middle of the state, whatever, but lower. All right, now, it's been a long time, and I'm gonna have to guess at this. You do want them where you can drop them, and you don't want them too thick, but if you get them too thin, they're not gonna make balls. I'm gonna actually add a little, I just use whatever I have on hand. This happened to be Crisco pure vegetable oil. You could use Wesson oil, you could use the no brand, you could use Crisco, any kind of grease. But I'm gonna add some more, and the reason I am is I want it to make little round balls. And if you don't have enough of grease in the fryer, they're gonna be flatter. They're not gonna be the little round balls. And also when I get through, I want to show you about the syrup. But I'm gonna go ahead and tell you that I'm gonna let that get hot there in just a minute, because since I added grease, I tend to call it grease. Some of you may call it oil, or, you know, you're shortening, or whatever you want to call it. But actually, instead of this syrup, this would definitely work. But excuse me, and I'll be right back. Let me grab some, the kind that I like. All right, now I love this kind. And I cannot wait to dig in with a biscuit ball and salt some syrup. Oh, I absolutely love it. Again, whatever kind of syrup you like the best. But the biscuit balls are great with that potato salad and peas and the chicken strips, if you didn't even eat it with syrup. Now, you want your grease pretty hot. And if this don't seem to be the right consistency, when I start dropping them, and you want to do small, well, I say you do. You know, you can do what you want. I'm going to try dropping and see. And no, my grease ain't quite hot enough. And these do get done in a hurry. So you have to be right ready. And of course, this wasn't hot, so it didn't make a ball as much as it's going to flatten out a little bit. All right, let my grease get just a little hotter before I start dropping. I'm probably going to get through dropping before I be having to turn them and get them out of here. I'm just doing little bits, maybe a teaspoon, not really even a, and again, you can make them different sizes, but I like to make them small. We eat lots of them. We don't just ask for 1 or 2. We get us 3 or 4 or 5 at a time on our plate, and we can eat it more. They are so good. And as soon as they start darkening, see, I just flip them over. You flip them and they're not ready to flip, that's okay. You can just come back, okay? You can just come back if that's just on the bread. It's gotten dark from the chicken that's in here. So basically they're getting fried in the chicken grease with me adding some. And if, like I said, if you flip them and they were not ready, it's not going to hurt a thing. But you don't want them to get too dark and start burning either and be hard or anything. If you get them too hard, these are definitely good, hot and fresh. And then just start getting them up. Oh, that one looks really good right there. Look at that one, how perfect. Oops. Got grease on. I've got to wear an apron next time, that's for sure. Because I am really a messy cook. And this you do have to hurry on to keep them from, like while you're getting some out, to keep the others. I always reach and try to get the ones that's the brownest next out. And see, I haven't even finished putting the ones I had because I'm trying to tend to these. But you do want to make sure you're turning them and not letting them get too. And like I said, I've got to find out if Sue called them biscuit balls and told me that's what they were, or if she just told me she makes this and I just had to come up with a name for it. I can't remember. Don't really matter. The point is, that's what I've not coined it now, or it was already coined. And so my children and anybody knows when I fix these meals, they know what they're called. They're biscuit balls. And I'm going to show you one. I think I'm going to get that perfect one out of here and let it cool and show you in a little bit how good it is. I mean, you won't be able to, please. Okay. Again, I normally do a big pile of them with that amount of chicken, but and that's really way too much chicken, but while I was into it for us today, so we will be having to eat it left over. But, okay. And I'll have, like I said, a lot of cleanup when I get through, but that's okay, I don't mind. It's worth it. A meal like this to me is worth it. And it really don't take all that long to do this. I usually would have my salad, potato salad, or if you're in the South, you may even say tater salad. That's what I was about to say. But I already have it made when I get ready to do the chicken, and then this, I have us right ready to eat when this comes up so that we get to eat these hot. So I make sure everything else is right ready. Ooh, look at that one. Isn't that a funny shape one? That's cute. Children always like it when we come out with something a little funny shaped on here. Look at that one. These are absolutely delicious. Woo, that one's a goner. I'll get it directly and lay it on the counter. The dog, you'll love it. Cat or dog one, just lay it right over there on the floor to be fine. And I've done cut this off now because that's another funny shape one. That might even be a little animal.
It's like a shoe.
Yeah, animal shape one. All right, now, like I told you, it's good with the chicken, but it is so good with, and I would go ahead and cook my other few pieces of chicken to keep from reheating my fryer, but, ooh, it's hot. If I wait till tonight, my husband will be able to have a little bit of chicken that's hot and fresh like we're about to have. But you take these biscuit balls and you do this number right here. Now that's so good. But then it's also good to take a piece of the chicken and a biscuit ball and it's hot. It's too hot for me to bite into it. I should have waited and got one of those underneath. I wish you could taste it through the phone. And then there's something about eating the chicken with a salad. I may not even want any peas today. But if you've never tried your chicken strips like that, or if you've never fixed the chicken biscuit balls at all, try them and let me know how it turns out. And don't forget, even if you're not in the drawing, which it's really not too late, I'll try to check it on Thursday the 14th to see who else may have entered, and then I'm not checking it Friday. So if you don't enter by next Thursday, it'll be too late. But because I'm gonna go ahead and get the names in container to draw, and it's kind of funny how many views compared to how many people are actually entering, and I don't know why somebody wouldn't want to win something free, because I love to win free stuff. I love to give stuff. I love giving prizes, but I also love to win prizes. Sometimes even if it's not something I'm real excited about winning as far as the actual gift, I just love to win, you know, just the thrill of winning something, just the thrill of hearing my name called. There's something about hearing your name called and you've won. And it reminds me also that my name's in the book of life, in the Lamb's book of life. And one day Jesus is going to look at that book and he's going to call my name, and I'm going to answer here mine. He's going to say, "Well done, thou good and faithful servant." That's when I really want to hear my name called more than any time else. But even as we live on this earth, I love to win something, and I love to give and let other people win. It's a lot of fun. I promise you the drawings will be fair. Some of the people that's entered, I know them. Some of them, I only know them through Facebook. I've never laid eyes on them. They may be in a way understate, but I promise you every name that I know that did liked, commented, shared will be in the drawing, and I will do it live, and I can't wait to see who wins. If you're not local, I will be shipping it to you, and that's on the making biscuits, the gravy, and like I said, I've got to think about it. I may even do one today. So, you know, whether I do or not, if you want to comment, like, and share, but if I do decide to do one, I will go back and check it. And thank you today for watching this, and I hope you have a blessed day, and be on the lookout in a couple of weeks. I have one I'm real excited about sharing with you, where I'll be doing something, but it'll be to do with cooking, but I think it's going to be a lot of fun. So, till next time, talk to you later. Bye-bye.